Welcome back. Oh, I'm just set my phone off there. I have to open my phone because we're doing a day in the life, continuing a day in the life, and today I have to share with you what I'm doing today. And I have to, I want to, because why not? Okay, so we talked about Sunday, we talked about Monday. Today we're into Tuesday, and Tuesday is again very typical for me. I'm not a very totally spontaneous person most of the time. I can be, but Tuesday is usually the same. Get up at 6, get the kids ready, get my three youngest girls ready, get them out the door at nursery, at school, come back here, make a coffee. I do really drink too much coffee. Um, make coffee, and then I again start working in the mornings on my own personal projects, and I allow myself until now, until 11 a.m. So I just love to have a morning really, really focused when I come in and I sit down around my business. Okay, so this is so important for me because, again, like I said yesterday, I do and I did tend to spend many years prioritizing my clients and putting myself and my own stuff on the back burner. And it didn't make work enjoyable for me in the same way that I find it enjoyable now. So I think, like, if you could take away anything from this week, please take away that you have to put you first and your stuff first. I mean, sure, of course, if there is a deadline or a client needs something emergency, it's non-negotiable, it has to happen right now, fine, but otherwise schedule your time. Years ago when I was in Spain, I think Martha probably might remember this one, but I made a blog post about life appointments and how I was finding that my life literally rolled into getting up, kids work, kids work, kids work, go to bed, get up, kids work, kids work, go to bed. And Martha knows that coffee feeling. And basically, I started to design my life a little bit more because I was thinking to myself, I can't, this is not sustainable. And actually, I deserve to have time that's more for me. So what I started to do then is I had someone to stay at home with the kids. I would make these life appointments with myself where I'd actually schedule in time inside my calendar because I always showed up at client appointments, showed up for things that were for the clients, showed up for all of this, right? And always, I was there without fail. But for my own stuff, I was like, tomorrow. I can do that tomorrow. I'll do it the weekend, or it doesn't really matter because it was my own stuff. And that was a complete wrong mindset to have. So I started making these appointments, like life appointments, I called them, where I would block out an hour as if I was doing a client call, and I treated it as such, like this hour is blocked out for a client call. And I would go to a coffee shop, I would write a blog post, I would take a walk, I would, do things that I wanted to do at that time and devote attention to either myself or my business. And that's where it began and that's where it started. And that's where things, I think, I enjoyed my business more because of that reason. A lot of people think they have to get out of the business because the business is not enjoyable, the work's not enjoyable, the career's not enjoyable. But most of the time, it's how we run it and how we manage it where the issue is. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that. So yeah, sometimes in the summer, this time in the morning, I might go out to a cafe, I might go and have breakfast, I might go and do that, or I might just sit in my office and do something. So I did that this morning. Today, Podia needed, they're doing their big blog launch, so I did a couple of reels for them, posted them on a couple of sites and sent those over to them. So that was fun. I enjoy that stuff. So now it's 11 o'clock and we're in here and we're doing morning mindset. And then after I do morning mindset, my kind of own stuff is finished and I go into client mode. So today, again, it's like a typical calendar day. So I've got the morning mindset now. Then I have an appointment at 1:30 with a client for a consultation. Then we're in the Sky Room today, the Sky Sanctuary. We're going to do the card reading today. Tarot card, that's at 3 o'clock my time. And then I have another client call at 3:30 after that reading. And then basically what will happen is at some point in there, my kids will come back. either before that call or after. You know, I'll have to figure that one out. And then my kids are home, my housekeeper has them, and until it gets to the point in the evening where I have to go and make dinner and then have some family time in the evening. And again, I did, you know, I talked about my little, you know, time in the office late at night. I did last night stay in the office, but again, it was working on my own stuff. And I had a very productive day yesterday working on client stuff. And I will say something about, you know, this day in the life stuff, or how you manage your time as a virtual assistant. It's very, very interesting how when you are really stressed, really overworked, really overwhelmed, feeling like you've got too much on your plate, it's amazing how incredibly slow things are to progress. Whether that be client stuff, whether that be things you want to do in the day, you know, it's not that you are working slower, but it's almost like you're working slower because you can't function well when you're feeling overwhelmed, you know, almost, you know, in a state of stress, depressed, whatever you want to call it, you know. So when I started working on my business and prioritizing my business and doing things that I really wanted to do in my business, and this, I went through a transition period where I got rid of a lot of clients that I just simply didn't enjoy working with, and I was with them for the money, and that is no good reason to stay with a client. Once I did that, you know, even in the situation, and around COVID too, I lost a couple of clients, not by my choice, but because of COVID. You get into this mode where, you know, it's almost like a fight or flight. But that's when I really started thinking, I've got to enjoy my life more, in terms of, you know, I've always had a very enjoyable life. I've traveled and done things, but I've got to really love sitting at my desk and not think, right, I'm sitting at my desk to get away from the desk, you know. And yeah, all I can say is that once you really start enjoying your work and really start liking the projects that you're doing and the stuff that you come and sit down and do on a daily basis, your productivity levels can soar. You know, you can literally get things done in a fraction of the time, which makes your business a lot more profitable. You know, a lot of people keep telling themselves, I don't have the time, I don't have the time, I don't have the time. Well, you make the time. It's a choice, you know, and you'll be so surprised. You know, imagine if you normally take 3 hours to work on a client's work for the day, you know, whatever tasks or things that you've got going on, you know, and you say it takes me 3 hours. Imagine if you approached it just feeling so happy and upbeat and ready and focused, and you had so much clarity, and you were just like boom, 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 and you got it done in an hour. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, like the difference between your state of mind and your frame of mind and how you feel can really impact your day in the life of a virtual assistant. Nikki can really relate to this. So yeah, it really is important to prioritize what you're doing as much as what you're doing for your clients, okay? Because what you do for your business is what's going to elevate things. It's what's going to bring higher paying clients in. It's what's going to help you expand on what you need to do. It's going to bring opportunities for you. It's going to bring income for you. A lot of us are so stuck in, I've got to work with the client and keep the client happy and do all that because that impacts my income. No, that is a temporary thing. What impacts your income is how you approach the big picture of how you actually run your business, break down your day, and whether that really works for you. So yeah, I was in my office last night really late, but I don't mind. It was very nice. And I do it because I want to do it, and that's quite impactful for me, because when I had a lot of client work, sometimes I would work late on my client work and just feel like I really didn't want to be there and I didn't want to be doing it. But unfortunately, and fortunately, I suppose, it's bittersweet. working online as a virtual assistant is very much a 24/7 thing, because you don't have an office that opens and closes. You don't have a place of business. You know, you also have clients. I have clients from one side of the world to the other side of the world. So I never actually off, you know, in terms of I open the door and I close the door and that's it. And I don't think that anyone who doesn't do this kind of work can really understand that, because your work is constantly around you, on your computer, on your phone. You know, it's everywhere and you can't really avoid it, you know. But because of that, you have to make sure you really love it. That's the important thing, because then it won't feel like work, and none of it feels like work to me anymore, and I'm so blessed and grateful for that. But it took a lot of conscious effort and decision making to get to that point where it doesn't feel like work. So this is my typical Tuesday. I do client calls, I do stuff in VCS, we've got our scheduled stuff in VCS, and then in between I kind of, you know, catch up on project work and things like that. Martha says, my whole day is broken up in my calendar. Even client work is sectioned out in calendar. Yeah, I also do that too. I decide what clients I'm going to work on, when I'm going to work on them, that type of thing. Doing that gives me time to schedule some time, me time too, at 8 p.m. CET. I'm completely switched off my computer. Well, Martha, that's good for you. You're more disciplined than I am. I think when my kids are older, and I know for certain I will have certain specific times I can 100% devote to the computer, I think I could potentially get into that position. But sometimes, you know, I have to leave my computer, you know, in order to go and do something for the kids, and I've left something unfinished. You know, if I knew I could schedule my time and finish everything when it was supposed to, then yeah, okay, that's VA goals there, Martha. Jesse for sanity, I totally understand that, and you do. Yes, you've got the advantage of growing up kids. I'm gonna be a while yet. Nikki says, feeling the struggle with Easter break. There's zero alone time. I know, tell me about it. And because I got 5 kids as well, they're all doing different things. Teenager, you know, from teenager to 1, it's not like, oh, all the kids are at school and then they're all home and then they're all on break. No, it's like everyone's doing different things. I never actually ever have the house to myself anytime, me or my husband. Never, not once. I'm looking forward to that day again. Love my kids, but I'm looking forward to that day again. Okay. Yeah, so Easter break, school and Easter breaks, and like, you know, them changing the times and stuff. Like my schedule and my day is like broken down between certain hours, you know, because I have my housekeeper here and she leaves at 6. So obviously I have to pretty much be out of the office and with the kids at 6 no matter what, unless I've arranged a call or something later. And then for me, if I didn't have that, like the nursery school in Ramadan now, we're in Ramadan, they decided just to close the nursery instead of 5 o'clock. They close at 3 o'clock, you know, and you have to adjust yourself around that. It can be really like, if you don't. Anyway, I think I've waffled on enough for today. That's my Tuesday. We'll be back here again tomorrow, where we'll be talking about a typical Wednesday for me. And we're going to do accountability now. So get your journals ready. Mine's ready. I always do accountability with you guys. Never stop that. And I hope you have a good day ahead. So thank you so much, guys. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.